They say insults sting the most when they come from family. Mine came gift-wrapped in pearls and red lipstick, right across the dinner table at a restaurant filled with clinking glasses and polite laughter. My sister, Lena, leaned back in her chair, smirk perched like a crown, and declared loud enough for every ear nearby, "Honestly, she's just jobless." Her words hung heavy in the air. A few chuckles followed, even from my own parents. I swallowed the lump rising in my throat, tapped my fork against the porcelain plate, and simply smiled. But across the table, Lena's boss, Mr. Carter, looked at me with the kind of curiosity that foretells thunder before rain. If you're watching, subscribe and tell me where you're tuning in from, because what happened in the next hour turned their laughter upside down. For 2 years, my family had plastered that same ugly label on me, jobless, and to them, it stuck. I had left my corporate career to build something of my own, something quiet, digital, subtle. But because I didn't create an office badge or commute every morning, they assumed I lounged all day in pajamas. In truth, I was the founder of a consultancy handling contracts worth more than $250,000 annually, with clients spread across 3 countries. My days were filled with conference calls, proposals, negotiations. Yet I never told my parents or my sister. I wanted peace, not scrutiny. Silence became my shield. But that night, at that dinner, silence was about to become my sword. Lena wasn't done. She raised a glass and said loudly, "Really, Mom, Dad, don't you worry about her. She's 32, single, no stable income, living like a ghost. I can't imagine that kind of emptiness." The table rippled with awkward laughter. I caught my father's half smile, the one he used when he didn't want to admit disapproval. My mother pursed her lips, shaking her head as though I had failed some unspoken test. "And what do you do with all that free time?" Lena pressed. I simply replied, "I manage." But my eyes flicked toward Mr. Carter. He wasn't laughing. Instead, he adjusted his cufflinks and narrowed his eyes with interest. You see, I had deliberately kept my world separate. My consultancy operated under the neutral name Aurora Strategies, faceless to family, but highly valued to clients. Through this, I managed a remote team of 12 contractors, engineers, and analysts across 4 time zones. 3 months prior, we won a major contract worth $250,000. By all external measures, I was thriving. Still, letting my family think I was unemployed was easier than battling Lena's endless competition. She was the golden child, the corporate achiever, the one who wore power suits and generated headlines around the office coffee machine. I had long stopped fighting her spotlight. But some spotlights find you whether you want them or not. The meal stretched into its third course. Lena peppered her conversation with little jabs. She probably doesn't even know what a 401k is anymore. She's not career-minded like us. Each remark rolled effortlessly off her tongue, the way only an older sister could sharpen her knife with a smile. Midway through dessert, Mr. Carter finally turned to me. His tone was measured, calm, as if taking the temperature of a room. "So, what do you spend your time on these days?" I opened my mouth. Immediately, Lena interjected with a laugh. "Oh, please. She spends it binge-watching and cooking soups. Don't take her seriously." I smiled again. "Actually, Mr. Carter, I—" No, he insisted, side-eyeing Lena. "I'd like to hear her answer." The table quieted. I took a breath, then spoke carefully. "I run Aurora Strategies. It's a consulting firm. We mostly work with corporate restructuring and digital transformation contracts." Lena snorted, nearly choking on her wine. "As if Aurora is a huge contractor. Don't pretend like you—" That's when Mr. Carter froze, eyebrows climbing toward his hairline. "Aurora Strategies? The consultancy under NDA on the Westbrook account?" I nodded. Clause 8.3 of your contract with them prevents me from naming specifics, but yes, that's my firm. The table erupted in silence. That peculiar silence louder than noise. Lena's fork clattered against the plate. My parents stared as though I had just revealed I was royalty. Flashback for clarity. 3 years ago, I had signed the papers to form Aurora Strategies LLC. I deliberately chose a neutral name, one that wouldn't be traced to me easily. I poured my savings, $47,000 precisely, into building a distributed team. In the early days, I answered client calls from the laundry room with socks tumbling behind me. The growth was disciplined, deliberate. I turned down fancy office space precisely to avoid this kind of confrontation. If people wanted to call me idle, I let them. My contracts and invoices told the truth, and I guarded my privacy fiercely until fate brought my sister's boss face to face with the reality she had always mocked.
Back in the restaurant, Mr. Carter's mouth curved slowly into a knowing smile. He adjusted his tie and declared firmly, "Well then, I think we should all be clear. Aurora is no small firm, and this woman," he gestured toward me, "is not jobless. She's the boss." The words seemed to echo off the chandeliers. A waiter nearby even paused mid-pour. My mother gasped. My father exhaled as if waking from a dream. And Lena turned scarlet, speechless for the first time all evening. I didn't gloat. I simply placed my napkin on my lap and said, "I prefer to keep business and family separate. But Lena, if you'd like, I can show you the signed agreement sitting on clause 8.3 of your own Department S portfolio." Her jaw dropped. Mr. Carter chuckled softly, clearly enjoying the irony. The aftermath was immediate. As we all left the restaurant, Mr. Carter pulled Lena aside, his tone colder than the winter air outside. "I don't appreciate you ridiculing high-value partners," I heard him say. Lena stammered, I didn't know." That's precisely the problem. Pride before knowledge. Monday morning, we'll address this. Her career crown suddenly looked more like a liability. Meanwhile, my parents shuffled beside me with guilt written in every wrinkle. "We never knew," my father murmured. "You never asked," I replied gently. In the parking lot glow, I realized the balance had shifted forever. At home, I finally exhaled. The sting of Lena's label still lingered, but the satisfaction of quiet truth speaking for itself outweighed it. I sent my team their weekly bonuses the next morning, $1,200 each, as a silent celebration. I also donated $5,000 to a local education nonprofit. A reminder to myself that success tasted best when shared. As for Lena, word traveled quickly. HR at her company flagged her behavior as unprofessional. Mr. Carter looped me in on future strategy calls, cementing our relationship as equals. Family dynamics altered overnight, but I kept my boundaries firm, respect given, or conversations ended. The greatest wealth isn't measured in numbers, though numbers help, but in dignity, peace, and the power of self-definition. I owned mine. Names and details have been changed for privacy, but the lesson remains. Never let anyone else decide your worth. Your voice matters. Share your story in the comments, and Dan. T. Forget to subscribe for more stories of justice served in the most unexpected ways.